Hey guys, I'm back here for another video, and I wanted to do a review on this SH Figuarts Avengers 1 Loki. I've gotten a couple of new figures recently, and I thought it would be pretty cool to do some videos on them. So, first one I decided to do was Loki, just because there's some things that I wanted to do to the figure. So I figured I'd do this video right before I go ahead and do those things. I wanted to I either want to remove the cape and do a different cape, or completely remove the cape. As you can see, under here there's these little triangle pieces that can be taken out, and then you can remove the cape. And I either want to put a new cape on there or go without the cape to get more of a Thor the Dark World look, even though in Thor the Dark World his outfit's a little bit different. He's got less shoulder armor here, and he doesn't have the this armor on his arms right here. But there's some interesting things going on with this figure. When it comes to the accessories, we've got to get some of the normal stuff out of the way. We got a scepter here, the long scepter, the scepter that he usually walks around with, the Tesseract. Here's the shackles that he comes with. But in regards to the and also his hands, we've got two gripping hands, two Tesseract holding hands, two fists, and the relaxed hands here. But when it comes to the actual headpieces, we get some interesting things going on over here. We've got the helmet, which can be used by itself. I mean, you don't want to do it like straight on like that, because you can see the inside of it, and I don't think this can be removed. I'm sure it can, but I would assume it's glued in there. But if you wanted like an empty helmet for him to hold for certain angles, that would be pretty cool. But all these pieces are interchangeable with each other. We've got 3 face plates. We've got this laughing one, which I really like. This one. We've got the covering over his mouth. And then this normal face, this neutral head. Then we get one slick back headpiece. And then you've got this, which is the unmasked lower hair. And then this, or the unhelmeted lower hair, and this one's for the helmet, so you can see that they're slightly shaped different. And the actual helmet itself. So basically what's going on here is you've got these pieces here, which allow all the pieces to interchange with each other. And then with this particular set, you'd want to go with this hairpiece, slide it under here, which these don't connect to each other. You can just slide it on like this, and then pop the head on to get that look. And then that's the same for the helmet. You can even put this this piece on here, and it actually fits underneath the helmet as well. I didn't know it did that until I just tried it earlier today, so that actually works too, which is pretty cool. And then of course you'd want to put this on and then pop this on there, and then that looks like that. So that's pretty cool. But getting into the figure, I think it's a very, very sharp figure. It looks very cool. The paintwork on it is very nice. Right now he's actually got his hips extended, because there is one problem with the figure. He's short. There's 2 problems I have with this figure. He's short, and then the cape. I would much prefer the cape to be like droop down like this. That's what I want. And I also think if the cape was more pulled down like this, if the fabric was a little bit heavier and it billowed nicely like this, then it would create the illusion that Loki's slimmer, which in turn would make him look a little bit taller. He wouldn't look so stumpy. This wide cape makes him look shorter next to other people. If you do that, it gives the illusion that he's a little bit taller. But you can extend his hips here, and that helps quite a bit, actually. For the helmeted head, I've seen some people say that the helmeted head is too big. Now, if you were to look at some pictures of the helmeted head side by side, I think overall they got the helmeted head pretty good. I don't see really any problem with it. It is slightly wider right here. They had to make it wider here because of his ears. Obviously, human ears can move out of the way. Plastic can't. So they had to do that. So then there's the argument then they shouldn't have made the helmeted heads interchangeable with the actual heads. You could argue that, but I don't think it looks bad. In person and in the video here, it looks like maybe Loki doesn't have a neck, but he does. He does have a neck. This is not working out. He does have a neck. The issue is, and I don't think that this area is too big too, because I've taken this whole thing off here, and I put the helmet on there with just what's underneath here, and I think it looks good. I think it's just the combination of everything in this scale. I think it's just not the perfect design for this small of a figure, and I think it throws it off a little bit. Because Loki doesn't have a short neck here. This figure does not have a short neck. I think it's just everything. There's so much stuff going on that it just throws off the proportions a little bit. And I don't think there's really much they could have done about it to make it look more natural. I think they did a really good job, and there's only so much you can do. I don't think it looks bad. And I immediately, when I first got this figure, I immediately just put the other heads on him because I thought it looked better. And I cast aside this helmeted head, even though this is my favorite look for Loki. But now, messing around with it a little bit more and coming to terms with how it looks, I think it's pretty good. I think they did a good job, and I'm moving away from the idea of removing the cape, even though there's not very many versions of Loki with a cape anyway other than the MCU. He usually doesn't have a cape. But I don't know, I don't even really want to change the fabric because I think that this pleating that they have going on here looks really cool too. So I've been trying to figure out some kind of way where I can get this to be pulled down by his sides, because I think that looks really good. I think they did a really good job on that. But you can get in here and you can see all this paint detail. It's very, very nice. You get a little bit of a black dot right there. I don't know what that is, but the paintwork is very sharp all throughout this figure. They did an excellent job. I've seen some people remove the lower leg. Well, not some people. I've seen a particular person remove the lower leg here and change it out for the Marvel Legends lower leg to make him a little bit taller. I'm not entirely sure what that guy's name is. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but if anybody knows, put it in the comments. It's a fella on Instagram who did that. But I think this is a really good figure, man. The more I'm messing around with it here, I've kind of just had it sitting on the shelf for the past couple of weeks since I've had him. The more I'm messing around with it, I'm really, really coming to like it. It's a very, very nice figure. I just wish that there's something I could do about this cape to make it drip down like this. It should be a little bit heavier. Obviously, if they'd put a wire in here, then that would have solved the problem, because you could just bend it down. Even though wires aren't perfect, you could get it to look a little bit more natural. Even if you just had a wire across the bottom. If you had a wire across the bottom, then you kind of bend this in. You bend this in, so it goes like this, right? Bend it in. It creates that illusion that it's a little bit... I'm not pulling on it at all. I'm just moving it forward. This is pulling on it. So just bending it in. There's a wire across the bottom. Just bending it forward gives that illusion. Now, I don't have any figures on hand, so probably have to slice two videos together in order to show you guys some size comparisons, but I will do that. So I'll be right back. Alright guys, I've got some size comparisons here that I want to show you. Let's get the worst one out of the way because I think it is atrocious. The Marvel Legends, one of the most recent Marvel Legends Thors. For some reason, Marvel Legends, Hasbro, they like to make their Thors humongous and their Iron Man's humongous. I know there's some people like Shartimus Prime who likes that. He likes Thor being really tall and Iron Man being taller than Captain America. Now, I agree that Iron Man should be taller than Captain America. In reality, Chris Hemsworth is 6'3" and Chris Evans is 6'1", and Loki is 6'2". Obviously, these are two different lines, but even with figures within their own line, Captain America is just way too short against Thor. So, unfortunately, your Marvel Legends display is probably not going to work here. This head is hollowed out because I'm using it for something else. So, anyway, unfortunately, your Loki's not going to work with your Marvel Legends unless you're like really creative. But let's go back to this guy. This looks okay, you know, I mean, for in this instance, your Marvel Legends will work, but I don't see you using a Loki figure, not having it next to any of your Marvel Legends Thors. So, that's why for myself, keep in mind his legs are extended right now, I forgot to mention that. For myself, my particular Marvel Legends Thor is actually a Mezco Thor. This is a custom Thor that I'm working on. He's going to be pretty kick-ass. Excuse me. So I'll be doing a video on him. But this is better. He's not going to be in my Marvel Legends display. He's going to be in my Avengers 1 display with the SH Figuarts figures. So that's the only Thor that's going to be next to this one. But this, I'm a little bit happier about this. I think if you're creative with your posing, this works better. For myself, I wanted to get him on kind of like a little podium and have him kind of like... I don't really know how to explain the pose that I'm going for, but he's not going to really be standing next to anybody just because of the height problems. But anyway, we've got an SH Figuarts Avengers 1 Captain America. Oh, by the way, this is his other shield, so that's where you can get that from if you notice that. Your Avengers 1 Captain America. Now again, Loki should be an inch taller and his legs are extended and he's still shorter, so it is what it is, but this figure's amazing. He's going to be the next video, so stay tuned for that. Got the SHF Mark 85 Iron Man. I'm pretty sure he's not extended. I think his legs are just pointed out, so he's a little bit gappy. He might be a little bit. Anyway, there's your 85 Iron Man. That looks pretty cool. He works well enough with his own line, so that's very, very nice. That's how it should be. We're just sitting here complaining about him not working with other lines. As long as he looks good with his own line, then that's what's important, right? Anyway, there's your Spider-Man. And on the off chance that you've got some kind of awesome villains display, got all your cool villains next to each other, some crossing of universes. We've got our Heath Ledger Joker here. This was actually something I was thinking about, is having these two next to each other, because they're two of my favorite villains from Marvel and DC. The only other ones I'd add here is probably like the Reverse Flash and the Riddler. And maybe, obviously some more Marvel villains, but from DC, that's pretty much my favorite ones. Anyway, if you guys enjoyed this video, you know what to do all that stuff. Until next time, true believers.